All right, here we are, 10 frames with Fast Track Physio. And today we're in the hot seat with my friend and great client, Jack Trembley. What's good, Jack?
Thanks for having me, Paul.
Well, thanks for being here. We're going to be talking to Jack a little bit about the triumph of the human spirit as he just completed the ultramarathon race, Leadville 100.
Yes, sir. The Leadville Traill 100 took place 11 days ago in Leadville, Colorado.
All right, cool. Can you tell the folks at home watching who might not know much about Ultra Runner or Leadville, the thing that I could tell you is, I know it's at altitude, you start at 10,000 plus feet, you ascend to more than 12,500 feet. You're running for over 100 miles. The gun starts at 4 o'clock in the morning. It's rugged Rocky Mountain terrain. What am I missing?
I mean, I think you hit everything right there. I think 100 miles, start at 10,000 feet, ascend to over 12,500, about 15,700 feet of elevation gain, and yeah, rugged terrain. I think you hit it all.
All right, so frame one. Can you just talk a little bit about the importance of proper physical training and conditioning? Not recovery, recovery is another frame, but the proper physical training, conditioning demands for the sport of ultra running?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. And I am not a typical runner, right? I started running maybe 3 to 4 years ago, like really running. Before that, you couldn't pay me to run. So the importance of strength training when it comes to running is essential for me to really not stay injured, to stay healthy, and to stay performing at my best. So while obviously running is extremely important when you're running ultramarathons, for me, strength training has been essential in making sure that A, I'm performing at my best, but B, I'm not getting super injured when I'm doing endeavors like this one.
All right, cool. I had somewhat of a random shuffle of the cards, but it's pretty interesting that this one is a nice segue next. Frame two. What are your three, if you had to pick 3 favorite exercises and why?
All right, that's a good one. Number 1, shout out Paul Schroeder, Bulgarian split squats, which really work, depending on how you're doing them, just about every part of the leg, but I really like them for building up my quads to really handle those downhills in Leadville and hopefully subsequent races as well. So that's number 1. Number 2, I gotta go with calf raises. I mean, pretty boring, but you can do them anywhere. I do them at my standing desk at work, so it's a great way to really make sure you're not getting shin splints and that your calves are staying strong. And number 3, a little curveball here, but I got to go with push-ups. You know, I mean, I can't just be working legs all day. You got to balance it out. So I think push-ups are a great exercise to do so. And
the push-ups are a great compound exercise. You're working core, you're working upper body, you're working lats, triceps, chest, rotator cuff, deltoids, hip flexors. Yes, so you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. Feeding a lot of birds with one crumb there. Great job. All right, third frame. Frame 3. What were the biggest challenges you faced, and listen up, 1, leading up to the event, and 2, biggest challenges during the race? And the part B for that 2 foil question is, how did you overcome them?
Ooh, man, that's a loaded question. All right, starting with challenges leading into it, I'd say the main one was just staying healthy. Right, again, I haven't been running for 20 years like most ultra runners, so I'm prone to injuries when you start stacking up the miles. So I think one of the biggest challenges that we faced was I'd come in, once, maybe twice a week for months straight, and I'd say, hey, ankle's hurting today, calf's hurting today, hips hurting today. Paul would thankfully fix me. But I think one of the biggest challenges leading into the race, and probably by far the largest challenge, was just dealing with little injuries popping up here and there from doing massive amounts of volume when it comes to running. So that was before Leadville. During Leadville, we faced quite a bit of adversity, so it's kind of tough to slim it down. But I'd say during the race, the biggest challenges that I felt were, A, the night. That was my first 100-mile race, and I knew the night would hit me hard. I didn't realize just how hard it would hit me. It absolutely destroyed me when it got dark again for the second time. So that was super tough, a lot of adversity to overcome there. I'd also say my shins, my tibia, the lower shin area. Again, we're in Chicago, Illinois, and it's pretty much impossible to find a trail unless you go out to Starved Rock, which I'm not gonna do. So while we did a lot of supplemental work to build up the legs to handle the downhill on the Leadville trails, it's really tough to mimic trail running. And at about mile 70, my shins and tibias, yeah, were just destroyed. I mean, they were really beat up. So it was almost impossible to run the last 30 miles. Run, I should say, for a prolonged period of time. I was getting good stretches in, but consistent running was hard to come by. So thinking about the last part of your question. But
how to overcome it.
Yeah, so those are probably the two biggest challenges. And overcoming it, I mean, I had a great pacer with me. He picked me up at mile 62, which was right after going down Hope Pass for the second time, which is kind of like the toughest part of the race. At mile 62, he paced me from 62 to 100, which is pretty much when it got dark to the end of the race. So he was huge in helping me get through that. Some of the things he helped me do was, run for 30 seconds to a minute, walk for a minute, repeat the cycle. Staying on top of hydration, staying on top of nutrition. Again, when you're that late in the race, a lot of what I learned is you kind of forget, has it been 5 minutes or an hour since I last ate, or since I last had a sip of water, right? So he was huge in making sure that I basically didn't bonk at mile 90 from a lack of nutrition. So overcoming it, I mean, a lot of different things took place. I'd say my pacer was a huge help, and also just kind of learning a lot about myself on those later miles, and just really pushing through the pain and adversity to get to that finish line.
That's an awesome answer. One of the great things about Jack is, again, I talk about triumph of the human spirit, and it's truly an inspiration for any. It doesn't always have to be athletics. It could be whatever endeavor that you're doing. But this is a cat who came to me like 3.5 years ago with the basic like couch to 5K mentality, saying, yeah, man, like, kind of short, intermediate term goals to be able to run for 3.1 miles continuously. I'd love to run a 5K. And now this guy is embracing ultra running, ultra marathoning. So, frame 4, how has your relationship with the sport of ultra running evolved since you first got bitten with the bug?
You're hitting some good questions today, Paul. I don't know. I got into, like you said, you couldn't pay me to run, and then I read Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, and I was like, oh, I wonder if I could run a marathon. I think that's when I first started working with you. I think Francis connected us, so shout out Francis. I just wanted to see if I could run a marathon, and through the training and the actual marathon, which it was a Chicago Marathon, which is an awesome experience, I fell in love with running. And I kind of forget how I actually fell into ultra running, but I think it was just along the mentality of I wonder how far I can go, and I wonder what that's like. And then I did my first official ultra in December of last year, and just absolutely fell in love with it, which kind of leads us to this today. So I'm not really sure how it's evolved. I have quite an addictive personality, so we're just going to keep doing it and see how far we can go. But I'm not sure if that answers your question.
No, I think you did a great job. And now we're getting to the halfway point, the 5th frame. Frame 5. Another thing I admire about you, Jack, is the growth mindset and the humility, especially at your relatively young age, in my opinion. Half my age, actually, chronologically right now. So, but you're twice the man I am. And I know you've received a lot of great advice along the way. Some has just been given unto you, and some you've sought out actively. So this question's tough here. What's the best advice you received to take your game to that next level?
Man, you are really on point with these questions today. I might have to come back to that one. I don't know if I have an answer off the top of my head. I mean, there's been so many people that have helped me get to where I am. I mean, even just in Leadville, I had a crew of 4 and a pacer of 1, right? So that's 5 people flying out to Colorado just to get me to the finish line.
But the best advice.
I know. So that's, yeah. I'm just saying there's been so many people, it's kind of tough to actually give an answer. Yeah, I honestly can't think of one.
That's all right. I know you'll get it for the 6th frame. Frame 6. How did you mentally prepare for the grind of a 100-mile event? You talked about this being your second ultra. Your other ultra was 100K, right? About 60 miles?
Close, 50 miles.
Okay.
And then I did a few leading up to Leadville, but none were actually official races. For mental preparation, I would say the biggest things are, again, a lot of David Goggins. I put him in my ears and I'm ready to run through a wall. A lot of visualization work, like we talked about, right? Closing my eyes and putting myself on the Leadville Trail, seeing what that feels like. That was also huge, and a lot of prayer, right? A lot of prayers up to God to get me through that race safely and to that finish line soundly. So that was a lot of the mental preparation.
Dig it. All right, 7th frame. How do you define success for Jack Trembley?
I don't know, because when I came into Leadville, I was super confident, right? I was shooting for under 25 hours, which if you're familiar with the race, you get the big belt buckle if you get under 25. Under 30, it's a smaller one. Over 30, you don't finish DNF. So going into the race, I was super confident. I actually wanted to get under 25 hours. And then after the second Hope Pass descent, once it got dark and we started climbing up, I think it was Mount Elbert for the second time, that's when the kind of proverbial wall hit me, and the goal quickly changed from under 25 to finish the damn race. So I finished and I gave it everything I had, and I'm super proud with how it all came out. So long answer to your question, but I think success is really defined as giving the best effort that you have on any given day and finishing the race as strongly as you can. Again, I'm thrilled just to have finished, right? Looking back, I don't really care about under 25 hours. I'm just thrilled I was able to finish. So to me, success is kind of a sliding scale, and it really depends on what you have that day, and I think it's just giving your best on that given day.
That was a great reflective answer. Appreciate that on 7th frame. Are you ready for the 8th frame?
Do it.
All right, or do we need another Altoid? We're good?
I'm good on Altoid.
All right, frame 8. What does post-training recovery look like for you?
A lot of sleeping. No, actually a lot of sleeping. I was pretty banged up. I couldn't walk for a couple of days, so it was pretty much bed rest, right?
Not so much for the race, just training.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Post-training recovery.
I thought you said post-race. Post-training recovery.
Yeah. Something I thought you were excellent at, and I think that was one of your edges.
Yeah, so, good. So there's a few different things, right? I think I stretch and foam roll every day for about an hour. That's been huge, and just making sure that my muscles are staying loose and active, and really coming to you. I think that was, right, if I had to rank them in terms of what I'm spending the most time on, it's A, stretching and foam rolling, B, manual therapy, right, hands-on work to make sure we're getting all those little things that are popping up, like I said, because again, if we're not doing that, they compound, and next thing you know, a month later, you have an actual injury in your sideline. So that'd probably be B or number 2, and then number 3, C, is probably sauna and cold plunge. I love the heat exposure, I love the cold exposure. I think it meshes really well and makes me feel great. So I'd say those are the 3 main things I do for post-training recovery.
Cool, awesome. All right, 9th frame. What was your most memorable moment? And this is Leadville.
God, you're asking incredible questions, Paul.
Appreciate it. I'm trying to get a job as a podcast host.
I mean, I would hire you. Man, God, these questions really make me think. I mean, I'll just say what immediately comes to my mind, because that would probably be the most memorable. So every aid station you hit twice because it's an out and back course. And when we were coming back, I think it was the half pipe, maybe it wasn't the half pipe aid station. It might have been, I don't know. Either way, there was an aid station we passed at around midnight, and my pacer and I heard the music from a mile or 2 away, and we were amazed. What in the world could that be? And we get closer, and it's an aid station, right? So it's midnight, yet it's filled
This is 20 hours into your race?
Yeah, something like that. And it's filled with people from Leadville who are cheering you on, giving you nutrition, giving you hydration, and just going bananas. I mean, they were coming up screaming in our faces.
You showed me the video. It was pretty intense.
I mean, there's people.
It was like a rave, like you said, man.
There's people dancing in costumes, and I left that, and I was like, man, now I know why they say that once you finish this race, you're part of the Leadville family, because Leadville shows out for it. I mean, they go absolutely bananas. So I can't stop thinking about that moment. I actually found the song they were playing and downloaded it because it reminds me of that so well. But yeah, that was a pretty cool experience, just to see how much the people of Leadville cared about you finishing, cared about you doing well, and came out to support.
Cool. I understand how fatiguing that race can be, physically and mentally. Remember, it took you, you said at least 7, 8, 9 cognitive days to be even 80% the worker you were for your job.
We're 11 days past right now, and I'm still kind of out of it. So that just puts it in perspective.
So this last question, this 10th frame, what other question have I not yet asked you to gain a better understanding of Jack Trembley? Any other lessons learned, or maybe tell us your why?
So 3 good questions there. I don't know which one to answer.
Pick.
So the why question actually I kind of like, because this race made me question my why. Again, I have like a little cheat sheet that has motivational stuff, has my why. It's just reminders, right, of why I'm out there, what I'm doing, and some motivation if I need it. And to be honest with you, pretty much none of my whys mattered when I was on mile 90. I was in immense pain. I didn't really care about any of my whys. The only thing that really kept me pushing was not letting the people down that were A, there, but B, had some kind of stake in my race. I mean, we spent countless hours together specifically preparing for the Leadville 100.
Yeah.
Right? If I had to come back here and say I DNF'd at mile 90 because I was tired and hurting and didn't want to be out there anymore, I mean, that'd be a pretty bad feeling. So I had a bunch of whys going into it, and I really need to rethink what my whys truly are, because when I got to a level of pain that I've never experienced before, those whys didn't really matter. It was really just the people who came out, the people who supported me. That's really all I cared about at that moment. So I got to rethink my whys.
Awesome. I mentioned the cognitive fatigue part because I didn't know if that 10th and final question was going to tire you out. But I really appreciate the time, the honesty, the candor, and sharing with me and everyone else, and choosing me to just be one of the guides so you can be the hero of your story. Jack Trembley, everybody.
Yeah, I couldn't have done it without you, Paul. Thanks.
My man.
And hey, how about Chicago, Illinois, Stereo? Yeah.